Qatar has failed to live up to its words, which is why Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Egypt, and Bahrain cut ties with Qatar this past June. Doha must take serious measures to fundamentally alter its policies. No more bait and switch, and no more backsliding. We need real commitments from Qatar to end its permissive attitude and actions toward violent extremists.
Finally, we must deal with the issue of terror financing. Qatar stands as a leader when it comes to funding Hamas, ISIS extremists. In Syria, they fund al-Qaeda and the Taliban. Qatar also has a unique and disturbing relationship with Iran. I believe it's time to hold them accountable. If Qatar is to remain an ally, it must renounce its terror affiliations.
And so, Qatar, frankly, has had a mixed record. We know they've provided support, financial support for the Muslim Brotherhood, for terrorism, for Hamas, for elements of al-Qaeda, the Taliban. And the problem is they can't have it both ways. If you're in that region, you have some common enemies. One is terrorism, and frankly, the other is Iran. And you can't play both sides of the street. And I think it's extremely important. Look, I think Qatar has now said that they want to abide by international requirements with regards to financing of terrorism. They've passed laws to try to implement requirements against financing of terrorism. They say that they want to do the right thing. I think the issue is now to make sure that what they say is what they do. And that means making sure that they are enforcing efforts to limit their support. And that ultimately is the way to try to ultimately reach some kind of solution. I know that the United States, Secretary Tillerson, are working on that. I know that Kuwait has provided some assistance to try to bring those parties together. But I think you really need to have a commitment by Qatar that they are, in fact, going to abide by what they say they're doing.
As to Qatar, Emir Al-Thani is trying to perform an effort of political gymnastics that would have disabled Nadia Comaneci. Look at the splits. He seeks to have one foot with the Brotherhood and the extremist Sunni. He seeks to put another foot with the United States, the moderate Sunni, and the Gulf Cooperation Council. And while these legs are separated beyond human capacity, he's trying to do it all while kissing Ayatollah Khamenei. That is a disabling act of political gymnastics. He may believe that we are obligated to protect his regime because he hosts an American political base. The Castro brothers never reached the same conclusion. It is time for Al-Thani to pick a side, stop supporting al-Nusra, and stop supporting Hamas.
Of Qatar, is there a way to, as Director Panetta said earlier, they've really been effectively able to play both sides of this argument. Are they able to do this because they feel emboldened in the region? And if so, what do you put this down to?
Well, the ability to play both sides is in part because the Obama administration allowed them to play both sides for some period of time. I think the president is committed to stopping that. So President Trump is committed to stopping that. Some elements of the Trump administration may have a different viewpoint, especially if they worked on this file in the Obama administration. But ultimately, we're the biggest, strongest, richest, most powerful nation in the world. And if we want a country like Qatar to not play both sides of the street, to get on our side of the street once and for all, which, by the way, is not just in our interest or the GCC's interest, it's in their interest in the long term too, we have a lot of tools to make that happen, and that's what we should focus on.